by tuning into the WHOW platforms on AM, FM, or streamed online, as well as on WEZC 95.9 FM.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning, and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Blue Ridge School students will be back in the classroom on Wednesday of this week, but there are activities that will lead up to the first day. On the WHOW Morning Show Monday, Blue Ridge School Superintendent Ryan Payton told the Heart Media Group they've got a couple of back-to-school nights happening leading up to that first day of class on Wednesday.
Obviously very excited, right? This is why we're here, is to create high-quality learning opportunities for kids. And so we're looking forward to being back on Wednesday. Today's our curriculum day, and so we have teachers in the building doing some professional development, prepping some classrooms. Tonight we have our first night, and so that's kind of our back to school night, where at Farmer City campus we'll have both the Snyder Elementary and high school. Students will be in the building, get to see their classrooms, drop off supplies. It's just a great opportunity to come in, non-stressful, relieve some anxiety, and just come in and get things ready. And then tomorrow night will be Mansfield's first night, and so that's our 4 through 8 building. That'll kick off 5:30 for the 4th grade families, but then everybody else will be 6 to 7. Once again, get to see their lockers, classrooms, and just kind of get started, create some connections, so that first day goes extremely well.
This will be year 2 of the district's English Language Arts curriculum, or ELA. Payton also notes they have some changes to drop off and pick up at one of its campuses.
Well, we're kind of kicking off year 2 of our new ELA curriculum that we adopted last year. So we're excited about that and excited to see that continued growth and impact on students and their outcomes, I should say. And then one of the big things that we have this year, we do have a change to our arrival and dismissal over in Mansfield. This year, the village had voted to move that to a 2-way road instead of a 1-way road there in front of McKinley Street. And so we've implemented some new drop-off and pickup procedures there, really just to hopefully create the safest exit and entry into the building daily. And so that'll be something new. Our district has sent out information. Mr. Huddleston, also the building principal over there, has sent out information with maps and just kind of detailing kind of the do's and don'ts. And if you have questions about that, please reach out to Mr. Huddleston. He can assist with anything there, arrival dismissal.
Thinking about student safety, Payton is encouraging students who walk or bike to school to be mindful of the traffic as they make their way to class. Additionally, he is reminding motorists in their various school zones to be mindful of the kids and especially school buses.
Please be cognizant and read through those arrival dismissal messages that go out, right? Those are put out there to make everybody's lives hopefully a little bit easier, so we know what to do and stakeholders know what to do. Mm-hmm. The hardest part is when we don't get that information or somebody does not, and they're not, their actions aren't following or supporting kind of what we put out, but sometimes they just don't know, right? So just being as up to date with information that comes out as possible. That's why we try to send out our information, via Facebook and via our app, and just try to articulate that so people know exactly what to do. Mm-hmm. Once again, just kind of going back to just being aware, when you are entering and exiting a bus, right? We're making sure that we're not walking in front of buses. We're not walking in between buses. We're staying in the appropriate spots off the road. And then obviously for those drivers, right, just being very cognizant whenever you see those yellow and red lights, make sure yellow is caution. When it's red, when that's out there, we need to make sure that we stop and do not pass those buses, right? And that's a safety measure in a state law. And nobody wants to give out fines in those situations. And obviously our end goal is to make sure that everybody is extremely safe. And, that's our goal. Learning is a super important priority, but student safety is our number one priority.
Blue Ridge schools are taking up an initiative aimed at professional learning and professional development. Those trainings will require early dismissals at various points of the school year, and the district is partnering with the Clinton YMCA for childcare those afternoons. We'll have more on that in the days ahead from the Hart Media Group. It's back to school's time for students in Maroa-Forsyth, and district leadership is reminding the community of some changes for this school year. Superintendent Adam Ibbotson indicates the first day of classes is today, August 18th. He is reminding the community of some of the changes for this upcoming school year, including staggered start times at their buildings, as well as bringing back the breakfast program for the first time in several years at the grade school.
Just wanted to talk a little bit about with our scheduling and what that looks like. Just thinking about Tuesday. This year, we've talked a lot about our busing and talked about the staggered starts. So we will start class with those new students on the 18th. It's 7:55 is when the high school, middle school will start.
Mm-hmm.
That's earlier than 8:05. And then at the grade school, they will start at 8:30 instead of really 8:20.
Mm-hmm.
So 10 minutes different. On those early release days at the grade school and high school, those shift as well. So high school, middle school, they'll be getting out at 11:20 on that Tuesday. And then it's 11:55 at the grade school. So that's our first time to try that early dismissal on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, the 19th, that's our first full day for all students will be in the district, K through 12, as we get ready to get settled for that. Again, 7:55 starts for our middle school, high school kids, and then 8:30 starts for our grade school kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's also our first time that we're trying breakfast at our district for a while.
Oh, really?
So we're offering breakfast at the grade school for the first time, from 8:15 to 8:30. We're going to see how that navigates and works through that process to offer that. The staggered has helped us do that. So we'll see how that works out. And then full day Thursday.
Ibbotson reminds that the staggered start times for the school buildings this year were the result of a pair of challenges facing the district, including rising transportation costs as well as a bus driver shortage.
We just really started with thinking about how can we maximize efficiency with our transportation budget. We needed to get to the spot to where we could have bus drivers be able to drive 2 routes instead of 1, meaning they would go and do middle school, high school, and then they would go and pick up a set of grade school students. So in order to do that, we have to have a stagger between the 2 campuses that's big enough in order to accomplish this. And we've established it last year through doing this somewhat in a limited manner to being about 30 to 35 minutes to make that happen. So we have 4 drivers doing that and another driver who's driving in some of our country routes that will take a little bit longer. So that precipitated the need to shift 10 minutes earlier and then 10 minutes later to make sure that stagger happens. And we're hoping to save some money on the bus lease next year when we get ready to go. Shortage of drivers. We're able to accomplish all the routes to happen. We went to pool stops and had several different meetings and different communications about that along the way. So I'm hopeful to see that plan come to fruition. I know there will be issues as we get started. The start of the school year sometimes is always get the bugs worked out usually. So this will be a little bit more of a challenge for our group, but our transportation director, Pat Fott, assistant director Amy Flock has done a great job with our busing. All of our building secretaries, all of our administrators have done a good job communicating, and we'll unveil the plan and see how it rolls.
Motorists who regularly take U.S. Highway 51 around Maroa likely have noticed by now the speed limit change from the school buildings to the south side of the highway outside Maroa. Ibbotson is thankful for that change as both of those intersections have a lot of traffic, particularly at the beginning and end of the school day.
IDOT was in charge of that. They had studied that. We had unfortunately had a fatal accident that was there at Wood Street in 51. And IDOT did a traffic study. The city of Maroa is still advocating for a actual stoplight like Clinton does on 51. But the solution from IDOT at this point in time is a reduced speed limit between Wood Street and Washington Street down to 45. So I would caution drivers as you're moving through Maroa, it goes from 65 to 55 to 45 pretty quick. And then you're back up to 55 just outside of the town. So that's designed to help create a safer path for people to where traffic isn't as fast along the way to make sure people can get safely in and out of our campus.
Like local law enforcement officials you've heard from the Hart Media Group in recent days, Ibbotson is advocating for motorists in Maroa to practice safety in school zones and be aware of unique traffic patterns. Students in Maroa-Forsyth begin classes today. Follow along at mfschools.net or by following them on Facebook. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device. All free, all the time, right at your fingertips at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is Seth Lawrence, station manager for the Heart Media Group here in Clinton. We take pride in being Clinton and Central Illinois' local radio stations each and every day, 7 days a week. What does local news mean? Here's a sample.
The broken mains we keep having, and it's just been an ongoing saga.
And I would venture to guess, Seth, that is probably the number one complaint that I hear from the public. It is the amount of e-bikes.
You know, right now, El Nino is starting to get going. It actually is already established across the equatorial Pacific there. The winter season is when El Nino impacts our jet stream the most.
You hear the local people that make the news every day, 7 days a week. Follow WHOW on Facebook and Instagram to see the faces behind the voices and stay connected to your local community on WHOW and WEZC.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
Don't let a summer sniffle turn into a summer setback. Whether it's a cold cough, rash, scrape, bug bite, or minor injury, Warner Hospital's walk-in clinic has you covered. No appointment necessary. Just walk in and be seen by our caring medical team. Fast, convenient care. Close to home means less time waiting, more time enjoying summer. Warner Hospital Walk-in Clinic. Right here when you need us.
AP Sports, I'm Mike Hempen. The Brewers finish off a successful weekend against the Dodgers. Correspondent Bruce Morton reports.
Jake Bauers racked up 4 hits and drove in 2 runs as Milwaukee defeated the Dodgers 6-2. With the victory, the Brew Crew took 3 of 4 in this potential postseason matchup. Bauers' 5th inning RBI base hit off loser Tarek Skubal broke a 1-1 tie to lift his mates up for good. That was enough support for Logan Henderson, who went 7 strong innings for the win.
Noah Cameron pitched a complete game 1-hitter. The Royals shut out the Angels 3-0. Scotty Scheffler shot a final round 66 to win the FedEx St. Jude Championship by 8 strokes. John Nyland, a 3-time All-Pro guard who helped the Cowboys win their first Super Bowl, has died. He was 82. Von Miller is set to join his hometown Cowboys after agreeing to a 1-year deal. I'm Mike Hempen, AP Sports.
From the Heart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sportswire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. Pete Crow Armstrong hit his first career walk-off homer, a 2-run shot in the 10th inning, and the Chicago Cubs rallied for a 7-5 win over the crosstown Chicago White Sox Monday night at Wrigley Field.
The White Sox and Cubs squared off for part 2 of the Crosstown Series 2026 edition at Wrigley Field Monday night. With a runner aboard and the White Sox trailing by 1, Andrew Benintendi pinch hits to temporarily put the Sox in front.
Maybe he's the White Sox, Nico Horner. Swinging a fly ball, well hit, out into right, and it is gone! Oh, he just got it over the basket! You said what? 5-4!
Unfortunately, it was not enough as the Cubs walk it off at Wrigley Field, taking the first of 3. Game number 2 coming your way. I'm Jeff Meller. I'll have your pregame coverage at 6:30 Tuesday night on the ESPN Chicago Hard Rock Casino White Sox Network.
The Sox and the Cubs are back at it tonight in more crosstown action on WHOW. Pregame starts at 6:30 p.m. Ellie De La Cruz delivered his first career walk-off hit in the 10th inning after Dane Myers hit a tying pinch hit homer in the 9th, and the Cincinnati Reds rallied past the St. Louis Cardinals 6-5 on Monday night to split a doubleheader. Down to their final out in the 9th, the Reds went to the bench for Myers, who had homered in the opener. Myers delivered again, driving his 5th home run of the season into the left center seats to tie the game at 5-all. De La Cruz won the game an inning later, grounding a single into left field that was deflected off third baseman Blaze Jordan's glove, allowing automatic runner Tyler Stevenson to score. Emilio Pagan is 5-1 and pitched a hitless 10th inning, while starter Rhett Lauder matched a career high with 6 2/3 innings pitched. He allowed 4 runs on 8 hits while striking out 5, helping the Reds snap a 3-game skid. St. Louis, which won the opener 2-1, led 4-1 before Cincinnati rallied in the 6th. Michael Toglia doubled home J.J. Bleday for his first RBI with the Reds before rookie Hector Rodriguez singled to center to score Eugenio Suarez and Toglia, tying the game at 4. The hit gave Rodriguez, Cincinnati's number 4 prospect, his first 2 Major League RBIs. Cincinnati opened the scoring in the first on Suarez's sacrifice fly. Ivan Herrera tied the game with his 14th homer in the 4th, and Mason Wynn's RBI single gave St. Louis a 2-1 lead. Nathan Church and Jordan added RBI singles in the 6th to extend the Cardinals' advantage to 4-1. Justin Bruihl is 0-1 and gave up the winning run. Cardinals righty Kyle Leahy is 9-4 with a 3.38 ERA and faces off against Reds lefty Andrew Abbott, who is 6-7 with a 4.13 ERA in Game 3 of the series on Tuesday. In scores from around the MLB yesterday, the Tampa Bay Rays took down the Baltimore Orioles 7-6, while the Philadelphia Phillies beat the Miami Marlins 6-5. The Detroit Tigers took down the Pittsburgh Pirates 8-5, while the Boston Red Sox routed the Arizona Diamondbacks 11-1. The New York Mets beat the San Diego Padres 2-1, while the Kansas City Royals took down the Athletics 9-5. The Minnesota Twins beat the Atlanta Braves 4-2, and the Los Angeles Dodgers routed the Colorado Rockies 11-5. The Chicago Bears have signed veteran defensive end Marcus Davenport and defensive back Deantre Prince. The Bears also waived running back Coleman Bennett in moves announced Monday and waived tight end Nikola Klanic with an injury designation. Davenport played the last 2 seasons with Detroit, but was limited to 10 combined games due to chest and triceps injuries. The 29-year-old played the 2023 season with Minnesota after starting his career in New Orleans. Davenport had a combined 10.5 sacks in his first 2 seasons with the Saints, and in 2022 played under Dennis Allen, now Chicago's defensive coordinator. Davenport has 25 sacks in 77 career games. Kalanick suffered a knee injury in Chicago's preseason game against Cleveland on Saturday and did not return. Green Bay Packers tight end Tucker Kraft marked the latest step in his return from a torn anterior cruciate ligament, or ACL, as he returned to the team in 11-on-11 drills on Sunday. Kraft is hopeful that he will also be celebrating a new contract before the start of the season. Kraft, a 2023 third-round pick from South Dakota State, is set to become a free agent at the end of the upcoming season. Kraft caught 32 passes for 489 yards and 6 touchdowns in 8 games last season. The week before his injury, he caught 7 passes for 143 yards and 2 scores in a 35-25 victory at Pittsburgh. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL Sports Wire on your preferred social media platforms And get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Here's Hart Media Group owner Matt Hart talking about being in front of our audience on multiple platforms.
This what we call the second screen, right? It's the phone, because now we don't watch television one screen at a time. We're constantly watching two screens. You might be watching the University of Illinois football game on Saturday on your big screen, but you've got your phone there. And when a commercial comes on or a timeout comes on, you're watching that second screen. And we want to make sure that we're positioned to be on the second screen, whether it's social media, we want to be there.
Hart purchased the Miller Media Group in Clinton in August of 2025.
From pickups to family vehicles, trust the experts at Walker Tire in Clinton, featuring quality Yokohama tires for dependable performance. We're here to help you find the right tire for every vehicle and every budget. Learn more by clicking our icon on DeWittDailyNews.com.
Longview Community Bank is now open in Clinton, investing in rural Illinois. I'm Vice President Nate Sams. Stop by for a visit or to find out how we provide real local banking. Click our banner ad at the top of the local news page on DeWittDailyNews.com.
ServPro Team McGuire is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of severe weather coverage across all WHOW platforms, AM, FM, and streaming online, as well as on WEZC, your easy choice for soft hits at 95.9 FM. Whether it's wind, rain, or even snow, you'll stay informed with severe weather updates around the clock. When severe weather strikes, we break in anytime to bring you the critical information you need to keep your family safe. Brought to you exclusively by ServPro Team McGuire, your local fire, storm, and water restoration experts. Here's Clinton Save-A-Lot owner Dave Jackson on how he works to save you money every day.
I know the retails at the stores indicator probably better than most of the people in the stores know. I monitor this closely so customers do not have to. And then you don't have to spend $40 or $30 driving round trip at 60 cents a mile to Decatur or Lincoln or Bloomington. That's real numbers. It's 60, 70 cents a mile to drive your car.
And as Clinton Save-A-Lot owner Dave Jackson always says,
hope to see you soon.
SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. President Trump says we're not getting the straight story about the conditions on board the USS Abraham Lincoln. Mr. Trump calls claims of serious mental health issues among the crew, the aircraft carrier, as well as troubling supply issues, fake news. Concern in South Korea over a perceived change in the military relationship with the U.S. This after President Trump ordered a scaling back of joint U.S. military exercises with South Korea. The fate of the Gaza ceasefire remains unclear following a long meeting between U.S. negotiator Jared Kushner and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. And primary season drawing to a close, attention turning to key states like Florida, Wyoming, California, and Alaska. On Wall Street, the Dow futures 48 points in the red. More details at srnnews.com.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you.
From the Hart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local news update. It's back to school time for students in Maroa-Forsyth, and district leadership is reminding the community of some changes for this school year. Superintendent Adam Ibbotson indicates the first day of classes is today, August 18th. He is reminding the community of some of the changes for this upcoming school year, including staggered start times at their buildings, as well as bringing back the breakfast program for the first time in several years at the grade school.
Just wanted to talk a little bit about with our scheduling and what that looks like, just thinking about Tuesday. This year, we've talked a lot about our busing and talked about the staggered starts. So we will start class with those new students on the 18th. It's 7:55 is when the high school, middle school will start. That's earlier than 8:05. And then at the grade school, they will start at 8:30 instead of really 8:20. So 10 minutes different. On those early release days at the grade school and high school, those shift as well. So high school, middle school, they'll be getting out at 11:20 on that Tuesday. And then it's 11:55 at the grade school. So that's our first time to try that early dismissal on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, the 19th, that's our first full day for all students will be in the district, K through 12, as we get ready to get settled for that. Again, 7:55 starts for our middle school, high school kids, and then 8:30 starts for our grade school kids as well. It's also our first time that we're trying breakfast at our district for a while.
Oh, really?
So we're
Didn't know
offering
that.
breakfast at the grade school for the first time from 8:15 to 8:30. We're going to see how that navigates and works through that process to offer that. The staggered has helped us do that. So we'll see how that works out. And then full day Thursday.
Ibbotson reminds the staggered start times for the school buildings this year were the result of a pair of challenges facing the district, including rising transportation costs as well as a bus driver shortage. Motorists who regularly take U.S. Highway 51 in Maroa likely have noticed how, by now, the speed limit changed from the school buildings to the south side of the highway outside of Maroa. Ibbotson is thankful for that change as both of those intersections have a lot of traffic, particularly at the beginning and end of the school day. Students in Maroa-Forsyth begin classes today, Tuesday. Follow along with all things Maroa-Forsyth schools by visiting mfschools.net and by following them on Facebook. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. High temperatures reach up to 81 today under mainly sunny skies, southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight, chance for storms, lows level off around 66. Chance of thunderstorms tomorrow, highs around